From the studios of Foxboro Cable Access, located in the center of Foxborough, Massachusetts, you are watching Around Foxborough.
Hi everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of Around Foxborough. I'm your host today, Jared Craig, and I am joined by Paul Connors with Help Us Help Nurses. Paul, thanks for being here today. So glad you could join us. Absolutely.
Yep.
So can you tell us a little bit about what Help Us Help Nurses is, and what do you all do?
So it's a nonprofit that we started during the pandemic. Right now we support nurses. We never intended on starting a nonprofit or any type of anything other than helping nurses. We started off making masks, and when they were running out, so it's kind of snowballed. Once the masks were done, we just realized how we could just keep continuing to support nurses. It was a really good thing, good feeling, and it doesn't seem like it's going anywhere, and they could use our help. So it's we give out scholarships. I could go to the hospital when I'm bored, and I'll go pay for parking. I'll wait for a nurse and say thank you for being a nurse, and pay for her parking, or I'll grab her lunch if I see her at the sub shop, or cool. It's just any way to give back to nurses and thank them for doing what they do.
Absolutely, yeah. And so why is this project so near and dear to your heart? I know you said we, so.
Yeah, so thanks. My wife is a nurse. She's an RN. She went to nursing. She was in nursing school when she got pregnant, had our kids. She raised our kids at home, and once the youngest was old enough to be in school full-time, she went back to nursing school. So I know the challenges. I saw what it took for my wife to go back. She knew she wanted to be a nurse no matter what. She was going to be a nurse. We're blessed with a lot of support, a lot of family on my side, her side, and even still with all that support, it was like a miracle that she made it through nursing school. But it's just her. She did it. She's been a nurse for almost 10 years now. So when the pandemic started, she was working at Beth Israel Deaconess in Milton in the ER as a nurse. And I am a self-employed electrician. So we're both, blue collar, hardworking, like helping by nature, all about the family. And when the pandemic hit, it was really, really scary. Nobody wanted me in their house. School was canceled. We didn't know what was going on with her in the emergency room. And every night she'd be on the phone with a bunch of her friends talking about their day and how scared they were, and how some of them were 30, 40-year veterans ready to quit. They were done. They were scared for their life. They haven't seen their family. They're sleeping in garages. It tore me up. And I sat there listening to it, and I was like, I need help. What can I do? So I told my wife, what can I do to help? I gotta help, whether it's bring me some scrubs home and I'll sweep up, I'll make peanut butter and sandwiches, I'll take out trash, I'll give back rubs, anything I can do to help. Yeah. I'm sitting at home going nuts, and I'm used to working really hard. So joking around, her boss said to learn how to sew because we're running out of masks. And it was like a light switch went off. I took home ec in 7th grade. I remember making a pink pig in sewing class. Wow. And I'm like, I know I can sew. I know she's joking, but if I can help and I have to sew, I'm gonna learn how to sew again. And it was like immediately when my wife got off the phone, she researched online, how do you make the best mask to prevent airborne diseases?
Yeah.
Boom, came up. Here it is, step by step. There was like 10, 12 straightforward steps, fold this, do that. And she made like 5 to 10 masks that night. These are the masks. You can check them out.
Yeah.
They're,
I remember these.
everybody ended up started making them. I mean, we jumped on like so early on because she's a nurse and we knew it was coming, so we researched it. And by the time honestly, I feel like other people were making them. I was actually already good at them.
Yeah.
I made it a challenge to myself. I said, I'm going to work as hard as the nurses. So I sewed for like 10 to 12 hours a day.
Because we're kind of glossing over it, but in like, what was this, April, May
This
of
was
2020?
in 2020. Yeah, I want to say April of 2020.
So you're mostly out of work because you're a self-employed electrician. So
Yep.
people don't want strangers in their house at this time. They're putting off projects, or they're home themselves and don't want anyone in. So you're stuck at home.
Yep.
You see your wife, trying to help strangers as best as she can as an ER nurse who I don't mean to put words in your mouth, but she must have been getting the brunt of whatever the heck was happening.
Yeah, they didn't
then.
know. Nobody even knew.
Didn't even know how to treat it.
It was
then, right?
right. It was scary. I was scared for their life. I was scared for my life. I was scared for my kids' life. I was scared for, so I had lost all my work, which was like, I've been there before. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna just chin down, head up, keep working, and I'm going to make it through this. I'm not worried about myself or my family. My wife, okay, so my brother was in an accident 22 years ago, and he's blind from the accident. Wow. Changed my life. My wife's younger brother, who's my best friend, is paralyzed from an accident. Different accident 10 years ago. Those are my two best friends and my two brothers.
Yeah.
So I've had some serious perspective, but we've made it through. I've never heard my brother complain about his blindness or his traumatic brain injury. He never hit a depression. He's an incredible life. He's been a role model to my kids, to me. My brother-in-law, I see him every day. He now lives with us. He's got handicap accessible at our house, and we take care of each other.
Yeah.
So that's what this was. It was just digging deep, take care of each other, do what you got to do, and we're gonna come out the other end one way or another.
Yep.
So we came out the other end of it. 3 years later, I'm finding out like a lot of stuff happening. A lot of good stuff is coming out of our efforts, and we helped a lot of people early on that didn't have masks. We probably donated about 800, and my wife's mentor passed away. He's a neurologist from the hospital that she worked at. He took her under his wing 7 years prior, when she was still a nursing assistant. He made a huge impact on my wife. He got COVID, was in a coma for 3 weeks. We were already making a lot of masks. When that happened, we kind of changed gears. A lot of people were making masks, selling them, people were making money. Ours were better than all of them. At that point, so these have pouches on them.
I was going to say, yeah.
There's a pouch on the inside, and I had surgeons were donating me surgical wrap, which you could insert into that, and it's 100% against viruses.
Just another layer of protection?
These masks were actually working. I had engineers look at them with and they were approved in fire stations, and so that they could conserve their N95s. And that was really, really early on, before we had even sold any masks.
So you did sell, according to your website, you sold quite a few.
When he passed away, we says, it was kind of almost like we went on a ride in my truck and listened to a podcast, and we were already helping people. So it was like, what can we do? And just to make something good out of something bad, like we always try to do, we said, let's start selling the masks, because I said, my penance is over. All the dumb stuff I did when I was younger, we just helped a lot of people. Let's sell them, we'll start a nonprofit, and we'll just give back to nurses. Whatever we make, we'll keep supporting nursing. So we raised almost 20 grand in my driveway, like on Facebook, just with the masks that we were sewing.
Amazing.
So it just happened. It was a reaction. My mom helped. She probably made almost 1,000 masks, and my mother-in-law. So the four of us were, between the four of us, we probably made about 4,000 to 5,000 masks.
But you didn't pocket that $20,000.
No.
You put it into help us help
nurses.
Nurses.
Yep. It's because I said I would. It was something that we agreed that this is not why we weren't doing this to make money. I never in a million years would have said, I'm going to start sewing to make money.
Yeah.
I don't have any electrical work right now. No, it was
big.
given back. Those accidents I spoke of, it's what shaped my wife. It's why she wanted to be a nurse and always knew she'd be a nurse. What they did for my family, the nurses did for my family when my brother was in a coma, when my brother-in-law was in his state, you know. Those nurses are angels and have always just like, so I said out loud 20 plus years ago, if I have a chance to help, promise I'll do it. If my brother made it out of the coma.
Wow.
So his accidents, and Jury could attest to this because she writes books about it, but the gifts and adversities, right, is something that is real, right? And it's love's real, and intentions, and you know, doing the right thing, and just pure intentions, wanting to help is
I get that from you.
What we're trying to do.
Very clearly. So, you know, on top of paying for parking, buying lunches, you advocate and you give out scholarships as well, right?
Yep.
How do people apply for those scholarships?
Right online, we have, you know, Facebook, Instagram, all the cool stuff that I don't even know anything about, most of it other than Facebook. But so social medias and our website, so helpushelpnurses.org. And we've done 2 golf tournaments so far. We've raised a little over 10 grand each golf tournament. We've given away 4 scholarships to local, 2 from Foxborough, 1 from Norton, 1 from Sharon, nursing students, and it was $2,500 each.
Great.
So we plan on, at the least, we said we'll do that no matter what. We'll do a golf tournament every year. We get all our friends together, the people that have been supporting us from the beginning, and it's a really good time. And
but anyone can join the golf tournament?
Anyone can join the golf tournament. Anyone could, you know, any other ideas, and that's why we called it Help Us Help Nurses, because Brianna and I, my wife Brianna, we made the masks, and it was like we had to, at one point, admit we're helping, it's working, we did a great job, but like think of how big of an impact we could make, like if we had just had help, like help us, like we need help helping nurses, like just help us help and it just came out, and it was like that gives everybody else an opportunity. If you have an idea on a fundraiser and you want to support nurses and give to that nurses scholarship, I plan on getting.
You already have a structure involved.
We have a lot of structure. I've done a lot of learning over the last 3 years. I didn't intend on having a nonprofit, but I do, so I've educated myself a lot over the last 3 years, and I'm really passionate about it. I love doing it, and I've been getting aligned with a lot of incredible people that, you know, are going to help us help nurses, and I'm excited to see where it goes and the impact that we can make, and you know, it's been pretty cool.
It's fantastic. I was just wondering too about the scholarship piece, because I know a lot of seniors are starting to look at colleges and scholarship applications. If they're applying to nursing schools, are they welcome to apply?
Absolutely, absolutely, definitely. We'd love it. That's where a lot of, so my wife is a little less on the back side of the nonprofit because she works so much as a nurse. She loves being a nurse. When she gets done being a nurse, she goes a nurse on the weekend. I mean, it's what she does, right? So she loves doing
it's
that.
A passion.
I would too. I don't have that. I love helping what they're doing and supporting them. So I do a lot of it, and I've built a pretty good team of other like-minded people.
Cool.
So, yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about your sweatshirt and
Definitely.
where we could get one?
Right on the website, helpushelpnurses.org, and it's, as you can tell, the heart is a stethoscope, and the sine wave, that's a sine wave, that's an electrician. So that's literally my wife and I, and something that came together as love. Like, I want that to be a symbol of love. When people see it, they kind of already assume that's a positive, you know, people, there's electricity in the heart, people think it's because of that. It's a really good friend of mine reached out, and he's got a big business and a marketing team, and he says, I love what you're doing with the masks. Would it be all right if I kind of made a logo for you, and so we could trademark it and really separate you? And it'd be incredible. So he sent me like 30 original logos, and I'm like, the electrician and the nurse.
Yep.
He had no idea what I was talking about.
That's so cool.
He just thought it was a cool wave going. I'm like, that's a nurse and an electrician. So it's cool. It's recognizable. It's going to look good on things like maybe jewelry in the future, or you never know.
Yeah, absolutely.
A lot of opportunities.
So you've got T-shirts and sweatshirts, and do the proceeds from that go directly back?
Yeah,
to the
100% right now. I mean, my wife and I, no one has taken $1 or paid ourselves $1. We've done nothing but put time and money into this, and trying to build something self-sustaining, and I see in the long term, I'm hoping to get hooked up with the nursing schools so that they can be involved with them, and it could be a paid job for them while they're in school, and
Well, because my thought is you were probably experiencing the pandemic in a different way than your wife was, where your wife is seeing people sick and dying every day, and you're seeing her struggling through all of that. So in what ways did that kind of shape the need, the fire in the belly to get you?
For me, it's always been there, right? That fire, for whatever reason, but like that there was the best people I've ever met in my life are through my wife. It's to the nurses that she works with. It's the educators. She's still so close with some of her college professors from nursing school. They're just literally, I say, angels. I mean, they're some of the best people. So when they needed help, it was like done. Another perfect example is the Sharon Fire Department. I grew up in Sharon. They've saved every one of my family, my cousins, my aunts, my uncles, my grandparents, my best friends. They've saved everybody I've known repeatedly. They put something on Facebook where they were running out of masks. I just got good at them. I made like 30 American flag, fire engine red masks. Cool. I'm friends with a whole bunch of them, and I says, if I can give back to those guys, then it's perfect. Yeah. I called the fire captain, and I met him, I gave him them, and he called me the next weekend, and he came over my house with a check for $250 from the men. It wasn't from the union, it wasn't from the town, it was from the men that I made the masks for. And I said, I'm not taking $1. I said, you guys are my heroes. I'm trying to help you guys. And that just tells me that it's working, and that it was the right thing to do.
Appreciated. That's their way of
It was
showing,
appreciated.
Yeah.
My efforts were worth it. So, and he goes, well, I already knew you weren't going to take the money. So if I got to make a phone call, you're taking the money. So we agreed. I took the money, but I bought more fabrics. I took it to Joann Fabrics. I got crazy selection of all different color masks, everything I needed to keep it going. And a week later, that fire captain's mom passed away, and they needed masks for the funeral. I took the materials, a lot of the materials that I bought with their money, and I went through the obituary, and I made all of the black masks for the men. I made all flowered masks for the women. I say me, my wife, my mom, and my mother-in-law.
Yeah, your team.
My team, our team. And then we did, they were an Irish family, so all the kids and siblings, Irish flag masks. It was like 30-something masks, and we did it in a couple of days. Wow. And we were able to, but the full circleness of, I'm trying to help the nurses, and then these firemen that are bringing the patients to the nurses, and all like my heroes, and they're thanking me, and
Some cultures call it karma, but what goes around?
There's no coincidences. There's no karma. It's just doing the right thing, and I think it just I don't know. It's working, and it's been really cool. Like I said, it was all pure intentions, and that's why it's working.
And have you received like an outpouring of support from other community members too? Is that keeping you going?
Everywhere I turn or look, or I have not had one negative about this. I joked about it with my dad in the beginning, and who's kind of a tough guy, and I said, "Oh, I'm sewing masks and stuff." He goes, "Paul, if anyone says anything, they're gonna have to explain why they got taken care of by a seamstress.
Yeah.
You're tough enough to sew masks. Don't worry about it.
Absolutely.
There's been no negative. It's been nothing but support, and oh, I think you should do this. I think, can I do that? And it's like people have reached out, and it's awesome. It's awesome.
Heart's in the right place. You're doing the right thing.
I think so.
Yeah, it seems like it, and you seem genuinely like you care. So that comes across to me, and I just met you half hour ago.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
thanks for all you're doing. I just want to know how can the community at large help, or do you have dates for future fundraisers that you can?
I know our next tournaments, we pushed it out a month. It's been really difficult to build that golf tournament, even though we do have so much support. We've got 72 golfers both years. I'd like to get 144. We pushed it out a month because a lot of people are away on vacations, and it's right in the middle of the summer, or their kids just so. Next year, it's September, I want to say 16th, right at Foxboro Country Club. They've been incredibly accommodating and awesome to work with. The whole community has.
Cool.
So I plan on, if you want to follow us on Facebook, Help Us Help Nurses, definitely would help. And I will, everything that we plan on doing in the future is going to be through there, and you'll be able to. We're going to planning on a lot of events, a lot of stuff. It's growing quick, so I'm hoping to. And
do you see support for nurses still strong, or is it petered out a little bit?
I mean,
the pandemic seems to be.
This whole thing has been like very personal for me in my perspective, and like what my wife's struggle as a nurse has been, and her friends and what they struggle as, and I do still see the same things that they deal with. It's understaffed, supported. I don't know that money's necessarily even. It doesn't matter. These women and men, you could pay peanuts, and they're still going to be there doing what they do. You could give them $1 million a week, and they're still going to be there doing what they do. They're undersupported. We need more of them. We need more good nurses. We need more.
Good people.
Good people. We need people. We need people as, I'm sick of my wife coming home with bruises, you know what I mean? And the things that she deals with, and the mental health in this country, and there's so many things. It's what the whole world, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so this for me is very, in the beginning when we started, I looked at it as no matter what, even as a self-employed electrician, I could do a favor for somebody and say, throw my nonprofit a donation if you feel like it.
Yeah.
I helped them, they got their thing fixed, and I got to help a nurse. And if I could just do that the rest of my life,
That's awesome.
I'm happy and proud of what came out of what we started.
Yeah,
So,
just started from sewing masks, and now it's grown into a whole organization.
Yeah.
Fundraising.
Yeah.
Is there anything else I should have asked you about that I missed? Is it specific kinds of nurses that you support, or is it?
No, I mean,
nurses through.
honestly, the way that our mission statement we wrote up was pretty much to cover from CNAs, because that's what we called, my wife was a CNA, now they're MNAs or whatever their titles are, but assistants, nursing assistants. That's when it starts. They get their job, they work so hard, they're in school, they're studying, a lot of them have children, a lot of them have family that they're supporting or helping, and then they get that license, and they are now the breadwinner. They need to work 70 hours. They can't go to school to get that next degree that they really need to help their future, and so I do a lot of work for my wife's friends that are nurses.
Cool.
I love doing it. It's another avenue I'm trying to maybe get out of this, is a lot of the tradesmen I have that are very similar to me that like to help and would, just help nurses that way with, and get some tradesmen involved. It's, we're a good match. All the blue collar tradesmen, plumbers, electricians.
People that can work with their hands.
Work with your hands is satisfying. It's, you're helping people. A lot of people don't get that about the trades, but it's my favorite part of being an electrician. So I get a round of applause if it's 3 in the morning and a tree ripped the wires off the house and they have no heat. You make people happy.
Absolutely.
By working really, really hard, and you see those results. I need a lot more patience. I wish I could fix this like today, but I got the rest of my life and plan on doing it. I plan on continuing this, and some way, shape, or form.
Cool.
You know, and see where it goes. But,
Awesome.
yeah.
Well, thanks for being here. That's all the time that we have for today. So, all right, Foxborough, you heard him. Help us help nurses. This is Paul Connors. Thank you for your time today.
Thank you.
And thanks for all you're doing for our frontline workers and nurses. It's quite inspiring.
Thank you.
Thanks for
Appreciate
being
it.
here. Also, a few people here that I want to thank is Michael Weber, our executive director, Paul Beck, our director, Jerry Love, our producer, and Fanny Mizerambe, our editor. I'm Jared Craig, your host. Thanks for joining us for another edition of Around Foxborough.